G'day guys, Kelvin, I'm a coaching company down under in New Zealand. Wouldn't it be really cool if you could take a stock as unmodified wiring loom, plug a set of relays into it and make it run? I really think somebody should do that and make that unit up, probably for a manual setup. I think that would be really helpful for people. I'm looking over at Old Yeller, and it presently has a UCF20 wiring loom. Yes, Old Yeller's a Gen 1, UCF20 is a Gen 2. This is a non-Vvti engine. It has the UCF20 wiring loom sitting there, and this loom's actually a sweetheart. You'll see the injector plugs aren't broken yet. If I give them a bit of a squeeze, they actually do squeeze in. However, I have actually done the knock sensor loom. Okay, so when I said unmodified, I mean unmodified apart from the fact that the customer actually asked for a bit more length in his cable, and I said I'd make it a little bit longer. I possibly made it a little bit longer than it really needs to be. I hear someone coming. The boys are here to go pig hunting. Video stopping. I'll be right back to you after we go pig hunting. Righto guys, I'm back. We did have quite a successful pig hunt. The pigs have been destroying our paddocks. Never seen so many pigs. So if you're into a bit of hunting, I'll put it at the end. If you're not, then my suggestion is you don't watch it. It's kind of a good one though, and I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but there was no blood and guts, but it was still successful. Anyway, I think just going over this, I'm pretty sure I was saying that the man asked for a longer cable, and in this case I was actually able to get him a longer cable. I think there's lots of guys that would like longer cables, but it's not always the case. And the reason I made it a little bit extra long instead of just making it a tiny bit longer was when it gets cut off, he can use the leftovers for an earth strap on the engine. And I think I've chucked a couple of extra crimps into the package for him. Yeah, it's like we say, our cable's too long, so I'm just going to cut an inch off the end. I don't have that much to give away. So I've did the cable, UCF20, so Gen 2 engine, stock loom, unmodified, onto my engine, and I was saying someone should make a set of relays and fuses. I think that would be helpful for a lot of guys who don't really want to be bothered making this stuff up and would like to just buy it. And of course I help a lot of guys out. I do a lot of wiring for guys. I sell a lot of instructions to guys and help them out that way. So this, I think if I was to make up a set of relays and fuses, I think they would probably look like this. Yep, that's what I'd probably make them look like. And I'd probably make them really easy that you maybe, just to keep the price down, I would make it so, well, one, that just plugs into the ECU. That'd be really handy. And there's an 8-pin plug to connect into the engine harness. And that means any differences in the engine harness, which I've just done a video on, doesn't really matter, and it's 8 wires to connect. I have also ordered some of the factory body plugs and pins because I'm all out of them. Over the years I've been able to recycle and use some second-hand ones on my jobs in the workshop. And I actually think if I was building a relay box like this, I'd probably also make it for the Vvti engines, which I'll do a different video on. Right now, I've got to get the ECU for this particular customer. I cleaned up his body. There was, down the edge of the ECU, there was some corrosion. Oh, look at this. See down here? Part of the reason I'm doing this backwards, and I'd normally modify all the loom, is this ECU, I'm suspicious of it. I have made up extra of these relays and fuses, which will be available to purchase. So it's a good way to show that off anyway. And just give people an option. I'm not going to do the hard sell. If people want something like this, then I can make them up. I'm going to clip this loom on, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how easy it is to power this relay and fuse box setup up. And this ECU is going back in its case, so I'm all going to be ready. While I'm putting this all together, I've had 2 videos today of first startups. One's of about a 2008 Hilux that I did the wiring loom for, getting a 1UZ Vvti. I've actually done a full set of instructions on that particular vehicle, which will be included with my written instructions that I sell. So let's have a look at that one first. So that's its first startup. Yeah, he had a couple of air leaks and he sorted those, and it's now running like it should. So that's a big day for me. And the next one is a mate who I've been helping out for quite a while now on an Altezza. He works in the motor trade, wiring up car alarms, used to do radios, and now he does tracking equipment. And it's a really cool car. So we're going to get in and go have a proper look over this car. So it's an Altezza. Again, 1UZ Vvti, but he's used the correct engine, the 171 Crown, so the loom is in the correct place. And that's important, choosing correct looms. So let's listen to Scott's Altezza firing up. So on Scott's one, he's actually reinstalled the factory immobilizer gear into the Altezza. So the Lexus immobilizer is all working like it should. And he's got a multiplex device. So all the dash works correctly with the 171 ECU. And it's almost a plug-in. It's a rim pop pins and the ECU fits in the factory enclosure. It's that good. So while you've been doing that, I've had a chance to set up my fuel pump and get ready to plug this unit in and power it up. I'll actually show you how easy this unit is to put together. Really, really simple. Old Yeller is all plugged in. We have the airflow meter mounted beautifully here. Idle air control is plumbed in, so it's after the airflow meter. Very important. Sub TPS is not plugged in. Traction control not plugged in. Haven't even got the oxygen sensor plugged in. Not bothered. Fuel pump in the bucket. So I got the old fuel pump and I gave it some voltage. And we check that the dampener screw pops up. And that has. So that's ready to go. This is permanent battery power. While we're here, we're just going to plug this up. Save it falling off the bench. And I'm going to plug my fuel pump into this end terminal there. I need to connect some wires into the wiring loom. So I'm just going to grab some wires. We'll grab this one. I'm going to grab these two, this one and this one. Now I could get away with just one of those, but I want voltage into the diagnostic box. It's actually got a bit of a nick on that one. I'll have to watch that. I'm going to grab this one. Doesn't help when you push the lockdown. Lockdown! Let's not talk about lockdowns. No, that is banned. We're avoiding that. That one. We need an earth. Better grab an earth. That'll be nice. How many we've got? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to call him 1, 5. And I'm going to get this one. That one. And I really want that one there. Did you feel me push this lock back in? When I was turning it over, I just touched it with my fingers. That one there. And this one here. I'm going to go ahead and slam some terminals on these wires. With some wires crimped up, we'll just slam these in the hole. Now you are paying attention. Of course, if I was doing this, I would normally strip out a whole lot of stuff out of the loom, and this one is going to receive that treatment. Just it doesn't work for a video when I'm trying to say that you can actually just slam this on and make it work if I go and modify it all. And I'll also make a video on stripping out all that other stuff, which will go with this relay box. So those people are supported and looked after with the product that they're getting, so they know how to do it, put it together. 8 wires done. Now this setup doesn't run a fuel pump resistor, okay? That's been bypassed. There's a dummy relay at the end, but no fuel pump resistor is required. Every time I do a video on something like this, I suddenly find that there's a couple of other topics that I should really talk about. And then we're going to plug the ECU in, like so, and plug the engine in, like so. I'm not actually running the customer's one yet, because I am suspicious of it. Righto, I should have had a couple of jump wires here. I've got my jump wire, and I put my ignition in. I hear relays clicking, click, 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 click. And we jump some start into it. Oh, this happened last time too. This isn't a big enough wire to run my start through. We'll just make a little change here, eh? We'll just clip my ignition into here. We might just insulate the unit so I don't short it out on the bench. Letting the smoke out would be bad. Fuel pump in like so. Now I'm not too stressed that it does the fire and stop, fire and stop. This has just had its whole fuel system drained. And I've just put a different loom on, and it's got a different airflow meter to last time. It's pretty normal for old Yeller to have different bits in it. But you hear it wants to go. It's got a very positive, yes, I'm going to go. So you can see really quickly with this relay setup and fuse setup, you can make an engine run on a loom ready to go. For a manual, I want to see the traction control removed. I want to see the trans loom come out. So my next video, I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull that out. So for anyone that purchases one of these units for a 20 series manual, it will come with a video showing how I whip the trans loom out. I have a free version of that, but it doesn't come with my written instructions in my UCF20 wiring. Okay, I really need to test this customer's one to see if it actually works, which is the reason I did this. Let's swap it over and have a quick fire up of that one and see if it runs the engine. And that's how you make an ECU good. You write good on it. The ECU is turned off. Preferably when you unplug it, you're using the connector to pull it out, not the wires, okay? This one is really quite tight. Got it. Needs a bit of lube. It's normally lube to put it together, not take it apart. Bit of a wiggle. Got it. So I've got another ECU as a test ECU. Should actually check your numbers. 241, 241. So these are both a Celsius JDM ECU. So plug the main engine in. Plug that in. Power it up. Well, it runs. That's good news. The idle's a little bit different. Again, I'm not too worried about idle's different till the engine's been through a couple of heat cycles. But I do lock it in my mind that this one did fire up different to that one. So, if you need a really simple way, some relays and fuses as a plug-in, like this setup, it's something that I do have. This video didn't quite go to plan. That's just pretty normal around here anyway. At least we had a plan to start with. And we did kind of stick to the plan of making the engine run with this ECU and this relay box. So I hope that was helpful. Hope I've got my message across like I wanted to. And now we're going to wrap the wiring up. For you guys that want to watch some of my pig hunting, that's coming up right now. Talk to you soon. I've been coming in to eat the maize. Whole herd of them.
They're coming in here and there, the little ones.
The little fellas go through this hole, eh? That's where the little fellas been coming through.
Up on that, down in the gully and up on the side.
Look at this. It's like a highway through here, eh? It's a pretty good game trail. That's fresh as all hell.
That's right.
So, nah, there's a bigger one than that, eh?
You reckon? Oh, there's a big mark.
There's a big one. There's a big mark. That's like this. It's like this, man. There's a big mark. You see him at the back. Let's go do that back paddock. That's a bit fresher. See, that's old. It's got seeds in it. Put all through there. Been reworked, had a second go. And last night they were still all damp. You can see under here. He's turned it over for a second time. He's come back, given it a second go. And they're coming out to eat just where we've been feeding out to the cattle, feeding the maize. The pigs have been feeding on that stuff. That's our boar. He's been in here, flipping again, flipping a second time. Little buggers destroying our paddocks. This is all, oh, it's weaners. Giving a old rooting a second turnover. It's just everywhere. Well, there's some pigs. What's that? There's our squeal.
Small one. $50. Yeah.
I say that one from the
$50. $50. No.
I don't think the fence is on, eh?
Get out of it! Get out! Get out! Good boy.
Live capture.
Good boy. Get out! Get out!
Well done.
Got him, eh?
That's what pig dogs do when they can't get the pig. And it's making noise. Wild pigs are hardy as all hell.
Penicillin, eh?
Yeah, we'll give him a shot of penicillin. Yeah.
You fellas didn't even see them, eh?
I seen something. They look like a fucking cat. Nah, I seen the ginger one. The ginger was the bigger one.
Here, Yogi.
Here,
Yogi.
tiger.
Yeah.
Look how big this one is. That one's going to be hard to keep alive, boys.
The small one, you can.
Get some milk. Bottle it.
Yeah, that one's mint. Come here, go. Go.
Let's go down. Hey, the red's down in the ground.
Get out. You go. Hold it like that.
Spotted them straight away. They smelt us.
Don't
They were just sneaking off.
Yeah, mate.